waiting the broadcast to be published. And we're live! What is good, everyone? Welcome back to the official horse racing podcast. Wow, it's been such a...
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, God. What? Oh, God. What? Oh, God. What? Oh, God.
What did we discuss before we came onto the podcast? What did we discuss before we came onto the podcast? What did we discuss before we came onto the podcast? It is officially no longer the One Horse Racing Podcast. The One Horse Racing Podcast. As of today, we are now known as the official Heat Wrestling the official podcast. Wrestling the official podcast. That way we don't confuse people who like horse racing. That way we don't confuse people who like horse racing.
But I'm still going to advertise it as a horse racing podcast. But I'm still going to advertise it as a horse racing podcast.
Just to fuck with people. Just to fuck with people.
Are you echoing or am I going crazy?
People.
Are you echoing?
I shouldn't be echoing.
Oh shoot! Oh! I left that in. I had the stream on in the background, so...
We are professionals.
Well, at least that was an awesome sounding intro, I guess.
The echoing.
I blame the fact that YouTube just like, you're 1 minute away from going live? Well, we're not going to count you down after that. I was using that to count myself down to when to start the stream, but it's like, nah, you can count yourself down. And then I started to have a stroke, and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Why do I hear loud echoing? Why do I keep hearing echoing? And I thought it was you, but then I realized it was me the entire time. Well, anyway, welcome to the official horse racing podcast. Population, we're the viewers. We're the biggest marks for ourselves.
Population, those that are bringing you the podcast right now.
And today we're talking about, honestly, I wish with the whole scheduling thing that we would have talked about, like, the other stuff that we were supposed to talk about, but I guess we're going from, what was the last pay-per-view into...
It was Backlash, the greatest wrestling match ever.
Oh, yeah, the greatest wrestling... It feels so long ago, and I think that's the problem, that was the podcast after the review of Backlash was the last podcast that we had, and I'm not even sure if that was a podcast where I introduced my brand new mic or not.
I don't know. All I know is that there was the review podcast we did was the podcast that had me literally going a pure heart-filled rant of the way wrestling is at the minute.
It just feels so long ago. Maybe it's the fact that I've been busy with other things. Maybe it's the fact that I've been busy this July that I can only do like 2 or 3 streams a week. So, maybe 4 streams. You gotta study that mathematician to be a money getter, a statistician, though, if I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I'm gonna get that grade past the test. Losing interest, but you know what? I'm not gonna give up on it. Anyway, predictions for Extreme Rules. Let's get back to you, Rice.
There was no need to beat up your desk for that. What has that desk ever done to you?
It has grime on it, so I scratch it a bunch. I scratch off the grime.
You are worse than Jim Cornette tearing up his AEW notes. And if you listen to his podcast, he does that a lot recently, and I don't blame him.
Honestly, I don't think I'm hitting the desk that hard. I'm just like doing a light little slap. Maybe it's the weight of my hand.
Probably. But before we do get into the predictions, there have been a match removed and a match added. The match that was removed was the bar brawl between Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. That has been moved to next week's Friday Night SmackDown. And a match that was added is The New Day versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro in a tables match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles.
Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura?
Yes, sir.
Was that like last SmackDown? Because I saw Cesaro trending on Twitter, and I really didn't bother to go any deeper. But it seemed like he and Shinsuke were like doing a thing.
Yep, Cesaro faced Big E in a one-on-one match. The winner decided the stipulation. Cesaro beat Big E. Let's try saying that a few times fast.
Cesaro beat Big E. Cesaro beat Big E. Beat Big E. Beat Big E. Alright. Beat Big E.
So Sheamus and Cesaro. God damn it, I missed the barrel. So Shinsuke and Cesaro decided on a tables match. So I decided I'd get that little update out of the way. But now, shall we crack on to the actual predictions themselves?
Yes.
So that's what we do that in this podcast, right? I know it's been a long time since we've done them.
Yeah. In fact, we got another a big boy Fire Pro stream this Friday. I hope that we get predictions for that, but the other two nerds won't come on to the podcast. But yeah, we do predictions on the official horse racing podcast.
Or the official Heat Wrestling podcast when it comes to the WWE predictions.
Yeah.
Because when I think WWE, I think Southern. You know who doesn't think Southern? Vince McMahon. And I wish I was joking. But we might as well get all the championship matches out of the way.
And an update on the situation. I can't remember if I said this before, but Star Wars was sort of like playing in the background, and my mic kind of picks up things out of my realm, and it doesn't seem like anything's playing in the background, so let's jump into this predictions.
Well, Mr. Eyesore, I present to you the first match that I want your prediction for.
Actually,
and that is...
Should I put the Drawful 2 music in the background again?
No, because it doesn't really tend to get picked up much on the mic.
Well, it's not on the mic. It's coming in through the television, the computer actually.
Yeah, sure, fucking throw it in.
Yeah.
We're a small time YouTube channel. We don't have to worry about getting copyrighted because we won't get monetized anyway.
I figured out like how to like mess with my computer sounds things. So actually, that's probably the reason why. Never mind. Let's just jump into these things.
The first match prediction I want to get from you, Eyesore, is Nikki Cross is going one-on-one against the SmackDown Women's Champion, Karen, also known as Bayley. Your prediction and why exactly?
I was looking at Twitter recently, so... And,
as every wrestling fan does.
What?
As every wrestling fan does.
Yeah, it was more like recently, and it really wasn't on WWE, but was the whole finding Cesaro trending on Twitter. And then I was like seeing some Nikki Cross stuff on Twitter, and I was like, wow, Nikki Cross is looking strong. Wait, is Nikki Cross going against Asuka, or is that Sasha?
It is Sasha is going against Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. Nikki Cross is going against Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
I'm gonna go with Nikki Cross on this one.
Ooh, bold move, my friend. Bold move. I will go for Bayley, mainly because I still see WWE doing Bayley versus Banks. I believe it is 3, if I am correct. They have done the first ever NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, and they did NXT TakeOver Respect. So if they do go one-on-one again, it will be their third match in a trilogy.
I just don't want to think about the idea that It's Sasha as the Raw Women's Champion, Bayley and they hold all the titles, and I just feel something empty in my stomach. Like, wow. So I just want the title removed off of Bayley at all costs.
You mean? Well, she might go complain to the manager about it, but I see why you picked Nikki. But I'm going to go with Bayley because, again, if there's anyone who torments himself every week, it's me at watching WWE.
And also, I say it's good for us to have a bit of diversity. No, not diversity. Different choices, unlike last time where we picked all the same except for one, and that one we were both wrong.
Yep. So let's try and keep this as rivalry-like as possible. So you have gone with the Scottish Psycho, you have gone with Nikki, and I have gone with Bayley. Are we all good on that?
Remember when who was it? Was it Seth Rollins? Remember when he like double defended his title?
Yes,
and I also remember that
it was Seth Rollins, Night of Champions 2015. First match was against Sting. No, first match was against John Cena, which he lost. Second match was against Sting, which he won.
Well, I was also thinking of another match, and I kept saying Dolph Ziggler, and it was like he had the United States Championship, defending it against Zack Ryder, but at the same time he was teaming up with Jack Swagger. And
yes, going up 2011.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna go after two titles or like hold two titles at the same time, you might as well just fight for them. Especially if one of them's the tag title, I guess.
Yeah, I see your point there.
Okay, let's just move on. Let's
the next match is Asuka versus Sasha Banks, and I am going to go with Asuka.
I was also going to go with Asuka. I really don't. I feel like I've explained my position on why I want Nikki Cross to win. It's relatively the same with why I want Asuka to win and why I think she should win.
Well, the main reason I want Asuka to win is because recently on Monday Night Raw, we had a certain return from a certain someone. Would you like to know who that certain someone is, Isor?
I feel like I do, because I can't remember.
Shayna Baszler.
Oh, that was Shayna Baszler in the tweets.
Who attacked ninjas.
What? Ninjas?
Yes. Do you remember Backlash? Do you remember those Viking Raiders vs. Street Profits? The ninjas are still a thing. They have made Akira Tozawa they have made him Ra's al Ghul.
Wait.
And his own brand of assassins / ninjas.
Isn't this just what's his name? That Italian Canadian who got dropped because of terrorist gimmick.
Muhammad Hassan?
Yeah, that sounds like a Muhammad Hassan gimmick.
It's Akira Tozawa. He's Japanese. Vince McMahon is still in charge.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I see Asuka beating Banks, and then Asuka versus Baszler at SummerSlam.
I mean, ninjas would be cool if you were in the main event.
It's WWE.
Like the whole Druids thing with Triple H, not Triple H, The Undertaker.
See, that worked for Undertaker because, like, if there's anyone you would not dare disrespect, it is The Undertaker.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying ninjas would only work if it was like some sort of main event type gimmick, but I'm under the assumption that Akira Tozawa isn't main event material.
That he is not.
What were we talking about before we were talking about ninjas?
Banks versus Asuka, the winner. I picked Asuka
We
mainly
both picked
because
Asuka.
she will go against Baylor at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to the next match?
Yeah. Yeah.
The next match you got in the card, my friend, is the United States Championship. Apollo Crews versus MVP with big birthday boy Bobby Lashley. Your prediction and Hawaii.
I'm gonna... This is difficult to pick, honestly. Not picking...
Actually, before you do pick, have you seen the new United States Championship?
They changed the United States Championship?
Yes, they did, my friend.
Oh, I gotta see this.
I will look it up for you. Would you mind please throwing your predictions into the wind?
I'm gonna go and say MVP. I was thinking MVP before this whole thing. So.
Okay, just give me a second to find the United States Championship.
Wait. That's the United States Championship?
Take it you're not a fan.
It's all just gold with little hints of red and white. Had I not been told that it was the United States Championship, I would be under the assumption that it was like some kind of Switzerland flag.
Fuck's sake. But no, that is the new United States Championship, and I will say this, I am a fan of it. I know I grew up with the OG US title. It was around.
Wait
it
a
was
minute,
introduced
maybe I'm
when I
looking
was
at the
starting.
wrong belt.
Which one are you looking at?
Nope, that is definitely it. Too much gold, not enough blue. It bothers me how little blue there is. It's gold. But there's an eagle.
Not many people are fans of it, but I like the design of it.
The colors, I just don't like the colors. Or the color placement. The eagle shouldn't be gold if it has a white head. It's the coloring that I have an issue with. I guess is my excuse.
But the design itself is okay.
On a closer look, it looks okay. It's got an eagle, but my whole issue is the colors. It lacks the blue, and there's too much gold.
It's like a certain television championship they have over on a certain Wednesday night TV show.
Probably.
At least I
don't watch that Wednesday night TV show for like two different reasons. One, because I don't watch wrestling on TV anymore, and two, I don't have cable to watch TV, if that makes sense.
Well, I just don't watch it because it has Orange Cassidy in it.
Yeah, besides, I'm more of the kind of person to watch wrestling live than watching it on, like, clips on YouTube. That's why... Oh, and, here we have... one of the many mods to this channel, it's Yoshi.
Yoshi?
Yeah, Yoshi.
Isn't he supposed to be protecting Baby Mario?
Yeah, probably. He's a big Yoshi. What were we talking about? The United States Championship match. I said MVP.
Yes, I'm going to go with Apollo Crews. Mainly on Raw at this time. MVP has the new United States Championship. Because, he beat Apollo Crews, I do believe it was 3 weeks ago, on Monday Night Raw, and we haven't seen Apollo Crews since. Many people are claiming he is injured. That is why MVP has the United States Championship at the minute, but I see on Sunday Apollo Crews retaining the US Championship.
Does MVP still do the overdrive or something?
No.
What's his finisher?
Haven't a fucking clue. I think it's the player's boot.
Is it just a big boot, or?
It was basically the haluva kick before the haluva kick was a thing.
Ah. Okay.
Next match is a cinematic match. Thank you, Matt Hardy.
Is it Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman?
You are correct, good sir. It is Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. I apologize, I've jumped the gun. It's a non-title match. You got Braun Strowman versus the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. Not Mr. Funhouse Bray Wyatt, not The Fiend. You have got the OG Bray Wyatt, the Wailing Mercy Bray Wyatt. Your predictions, my friend, and why?
Honestly, I'll be honest, I haven't been keeping up with wrestling ever since Backlash, mostly because I've been having to study and stuff, getting ready to study. And
that's why you got
things.
me.
And my birthday was like on June 21st, so everything sort of like dropped out for me. Can you tell me why it's neither Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt nor The Fiend?
Well, good sir, have you ever heard of a man called Mick Foley?
Yes. Oh.
Have you heard of Mankind?
Yes.
Have you heard of Cactus Jack? And
yes.
Have you heard of Dude Love?
Yes.
What you have got, my friend, is not the three faces of Foley. You've got the three faces of Mr. Rotunda Bray Wyatt.
But they're all called Bray Wyatt.
Exactly. You have got Firefly Funhouse Bray. You have got the Eater of Worlds Bray, and then you have The Fiend. And how the story goes, at Money in the Bank, Braun Strowman beat Mr. Rogers Bray Wyatt. He has many nicknames, and that caused Bray Wyatt to revert back to the Eater of Worlds Bray Wyatt, which will cause him to evolve into The Fiend for SummerSlam to dethrone Braun Strowman. Only to then come the Royal Rumble, or Survivor Series, or WrestleMania. If he comes back to be dethroned by Mr. Roman Reigns.
If it's not going to be for the title, I guess I'll go with Bray Wyatt, or it's going to end in a double count out or something. Is there any stipulation to this match?
It is a Wyatt swamp fight.
So there is no way that it's going to end in a draw.
No, sir. Unless both men are eaten by a crocodile, I doubt it.
Both men get knocked out for the 5 count.
But my good sir, I have to go with Bray Wyatt as well. Mainly because Strowman beat Wyatt, Wyatt beat Strowman. Go head to head again for a rubber match.
Yeah, that's mostly my thought, because if Wyatt were to lose like 2 matches against Strowman at 2 different pay-per-views, the third one just wouldn't seem that special, I guess.
Exactly.
And plus, this match isn't for the title, so it's all the more reason for me to believe that Bray Wyatt would win this match. But at the same time, you'd also believe that The Miz would have beaten Bray Wyatt at the Royal Rumble, because that wasn't for the title, if I recall correctly.
No, sir, it was not, but you needed to have Bray Strong going in to fight Daniel Bryan. And plus, it was the first time we saw Mr. Rogers Bray Wyatt as well, actually compete in a match.
Oh, yeah. That's also a good point.
Shall we move on to the final title match before we get all the fillers?
Yes.
We have got the Scottish psychopath, the king of Claymore County, your WWE champion and mine, the sexy Scotsman, Drew McIntyre. And he is going one-on-one against the man who was a caddy, the man who was a cheerleader, the man who was Vicky Guerrero's bitch, Dolph Ziggler.
I'm going to go and say McIntyre.
I have to go and say McIntyre as well, mainly because Ziggler's a whiny bitch.
Ziggler's a mid-carder, and I don't see them pushing him to the title opportunity anymore, unless if he had like Money in the Bank again.
Well, we all know that's Otis, for those that have forgotten.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Otis won Money in the Bank. I made a meme of that.
Yes, you did.
I just.
But you have gone with McIntyre. I have gone with McIntyre. You have gone with Bray. I have gone with Bray. You have gone with Apollo. I have gone with Apollo.
No,
you have gone with...
I went with MVP. You went with
I
Apollo.
apologize. You went with MVP. I went with Apollo. You went with Asuka. I went with Asuka. You went for Nikki. I went for Bayley. Shall we get the odd matches out of the way now?
I swear, if the Strowman-Wyatt match somehow ends in a draw, I'm gonna be upset.
Also, before we do actually move on to that, I just want to say this much. For the people that complain about the cinematic matches that WWE do, but praise the stuff that Matt Hardy do. The only reason WWE do cinematic matches is because of Matt Hardy. So therefore, Matt Hardy is the reason to blame for all the cinematic matches in wrestling at the minute. That's all I'm going to say on that. The next match we would like a prediction for is the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, The New Day versus Shinsuke and Cesaro in a tables match.
I
think we all know the obvious answer here.
I'm gonna go against the obvious answer and say New Day.
That, my friend, is the obvious answer, because I was going to go with the New Day as well, because it's the New Day.
I was gonna say Shinsuke and Cesaro for this match, and I just wanted to be contrarian. I'm going with Shinsuke and Cesaro then.
Are you locking in that prediction now?
Yes, I am. I said New Day was going to win out of pure contrarianism.
So you have gone.
I want Cesaro and Shinsuke to win because of Twitter again. Cesaro trending on Twitter last week or something.
Now I do believe. I hope I'm correct in saying that there is only one match left on the card. I'm trying to find an updated version of the goddamn pay-per-view, and I can't seem to find the damn thing. I am sure it is around here somewhere. I mean, it has to be, right? It's the internet. It has to be.
Wait, are the Ninjas going to have a match with the War Raiders?
God, I hope not. But before we do... While we are waiting for me to find these predictions, how about we mention the fact that the Good Brothers, Gallows and Anderson, are now part of Impact Wrestling.
Oh, really? Impact?
They revealed last night on their Talkin' Shop podcast, I think, I'm not too sure, that they are now taking part in Slammiversary. But also, along with this contract with Impact, they can also return to the land of the rising sun, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Whose current champion and IC champion is Evil. And the person isn't evil, his name actually is Evil.
Yeah, I think that name sounds familiar.
I cannot seem to find the prediction for the goddamn predictions for the goddamn pay-per-view. But while I'm looking to find it as any more, the next match. Oh boy, the next match.
I forgot what the next match was, and I looked at...
We have Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins in the first ever eye for an eye match.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh boy. Do you remember back the night after Money in the Bank, where Becky Lynch announced her pregnancy?
Yeah.
That very same night, Seth Rollins attacked Rey Mysterio during a match in a tag team match, to be specific, dragged him to the steps and started to stick his eye into the corner of the steps till it bled.
Ooh.
Rey Mysterio has been going around with an eye patch ever since. Dominic Mysterio has been involved in this storyline. All has led up to Extreme Rules in an eye for an eye match. And would you like to know how this match is won, my friend?
Yes.
Would you think it would be poking them in the eye?
No, I think it would be like applying an eye patch to your opponent.
Oh, my good friend. You are so close, but no cigar. The way you win this match is by doing a Stan Hansen to Vader on your opponent.
What?
And that is pulling the eye out of your opponent's eye socket.
Jeez.
And would you like to know how they're going to be doing that?
How?
CGI.
What?
Fuck you, Matt Hardy.
What?
Fuck you hard.
No. The cinematic stuff, it's to do, like, moves and stuff. Now I don't know how I feel about the whole Matt Hardy situation and how he, like, created this whole cinematic wrestling type thing. There's a separation between reality...
Do you finally see my point? Do you finally see my point from my backlash rant? Wrestling has been destroyed by all of this bullshit. It has been destroyed thanks to the likes of Orange Cassidy and all those Chikara cunts. It is ruined by the likes of Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks doing flippy shit for fun. Well, lads, I'll tell you one thing. All that flippy shit is going to land you in a wheelchair in the next 40 years. Enjoy that. And along with that, Mr. Matt Hardy. Oh, the oh-so overlooked Matt Hardy. Boo-hoo, he only became relevant just because he started doing cinematic matches. Well, guess what? You have ruined wrestling too, you overhyped fuck. You, and all of AEW, with that goddamn, and in the words of a wise man, Mr. Jim Cornette, in football field fuckery, that stadium stampede, fucking contrived bullshit, made the goddamn Viking Raiders vs. Street Profits thing look like a fucking Christopher Nolan movie.
I thought that... I don't know what I thought.
Nobody knows what to think about the pay-per-view. No one knows what to think of Eye for an Eye. And would you believe me if I told you this has all happened with Paul Heyman not in charge? It has all happened because of Bruce Pritchard. I hate modern wrestling sometimes, but I watch it as its escapism. I don't shit on every wrestler in the world, like certain people in the wrestling community do. Certain people who go by the name of a certain someone from New York, who still lives in his mother's basement, apparently. But I still know what kind of wrestler is a heel. I still know what wrestler is a face. I know who to boo. I know who to cheer. Do you want to know why I know that, eyesore?
I'm still baffled about this eye for an eye match.
No, go on.
I'm just left speechless because there's fantasy and then there's reality. You can easily fake a broken arm. They're talking about removing someone's eye out of their socket. What kind of damage?
See, they have the wrong stipulation for this match.
Definitely.
It shouldn't be your opponent has to be the one to pull the eye out. It should be whoever loses the match has to get their eye pulled out by Haku, because he could actually fucking do it.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the idea of
Have you heard of the Haku stories?
Honestly, I think the idea of applying an eye patch to your opponent would make more sense. Blinding or blindfold, maybe. At least there will be a sense of realism.
But you see, that doesn't fit with the modern wrestling of nowadays, does it?
I always thought modern wrestling was the flippy shit. I'm gonna be honest.
I will die on a hill of old school wrestling if it means pissing off so many internet smarks sitting in their mother's basement, eating Cheetos, drinking Mountain Dew, and pissing themselves in anger when someone says Kenny Omega isn't the best wrestler in the world. Well, guess what? He isn't the best wrestler in the world, in my fucking opinion. Everyone thinks he'd be like John Cena, he'd be like The Undertaker, he'd be like Stone Cold, he'd be like The Rock. That motherfucker isn't even on the rank of Diesel as WWF champion, let alone a fucking star.
How tall is Kenny Omega?
He is 6 foot.
Jeez,
just
I'm taller than Omega.
Actually, no, we will actually find out how tall Kenny Omega is. I bet you that motherfucker isn't even 6 foot. He's probably 5'11", the small Canadian fuck. Along with the Young Bucks, the puny little fucking twits that they are.
Omega height.
He is 1.83 centimeters, which is
6 foot. He's 6 foot.
Oh, Kenny Omega is 6 foot. I'm probably still taller than him, that fucking curly haired fuck.
I'm definitely taller than him if he's just 6 foot.
Last time I checked, you can't do flippy shit in a real fight, which means he probably got his ass kicked more times than Shawn Michaels did back in the early 90s. The only good people that are on goddamn AEW at the minute are fucking our WWE castouts. They're a fucking revival. Because you want to know why they're good?
Why?
Because they don't do flippy shit. Every goddamn team on the goddamn AEW roster does flippy shit. The Young Bucks. They've built a career on flippy shit, haven't they?
I thought they built their career on an overused move called the super kick.
Oh no, they've that too. Try to know other flippy shit teams are there? Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. But it makes sense because they're fucking luchadors. That's their point. That's what they do. That's what the big thing is in Mexico is luchador shit. What the Young Bucks do is flippy shit. Which is stupid. Over can try goddamn flips and shit.
How did we get to talking about flippy shit in a Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins in what is gotta be the biggest disgrace in wrestling history match?
Because it's modern wrestling in a nutshell.
Oh yeah, that's right. And then I said, I thought modern wrestling was flippy shit. And then it goes on into this never-ending corner. I'm going to go say Seth Rollins loses this match.
I'm going to go with... At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if both men lost a fucking eye. But I'm going to go with... I don't know. I'm going to go with Seth Rollins just to get these fucking predictions out of the way. Because Rey Mysterio isn't going to be fucking in WWE anymore. And everything's going to go to AEW. But fucking why would he go there? Just to please Tony Khan. Just to please that fucking wimp. Who I could probably kick, whose ass I could probably kick from fucking here to Timbuktu and back again.
Let me just explain my reasoning for why I think Rey Mysterio is going to win. Not because of anything in the storyline, but I think maybe it's just an excuse to get Seth Rollins to have an eye patch gimmick or something.
Or to get him off TV to look after his fucking child.
Yeah, probably.
You've gone with Seth. Sorry,
I've gone with Rey Mysterio, you've gone with Seth.
I've gone with Seth. Have we all our predictions out of the way?
I don't know. Have we? We've talked...
I think we do. If there's any matches that pop up, because they normally fucking do, I will ask them in our Discord, and we will mention them on our review. But I've gone with Seth, you've gone with Ray. If you would give me a minute while I type this into my phone, we will go over what our predictions are for the horror show at Extreme Rules. First match predictions with, I had gone with Bayley, Asuka, Apollo, Bray Wyatt, McIntyre, New Day, and Rollins. While I catch my breath, give me your predictions.
I went with Nikki Cross. I Asuka. What was the next match?
MVP and Apollo.
I believe I said MVP on that one. Wyatt, McIntyre, Rey Mysterio, Cesaro, and Shinsuke. Is that all of them?
That is all of them, yes.
Yeah.
God damn.
Once we get popular enough, we'll have the big flippy shit debate.
Oh no, I'd like to get into that now if you don't mind.
Sure. I know. Yeah. I think this.
It,
I feel like the whole flippy shit is like.
We got another 20 minutes. I got 20 minutes. I can fucking go.
I've got all the time in the world, except when I don't have all the time in the world. But hey, I got all the things that I need to get done before now, so why not?
I want your opinion first. Throw me your opinion about the flippy shit of modern wrestling.
I feel like the whole... it's not just the flippy shit. It's like every agile wrestler does the super kick and flips. Super kicks and flips. Or at least that's what it seems like to me. Is that not the case?
Every move that back in the early 80s, 90s, hell, even go back to the fucking 60s. Back when wrestling was, everyone knew or thought it was a shoot. If you got dropped your head with a DDT, guess what? You ain't getting the fuck up. Nobody ever got up from the Jake Roberts DDT, besides The Undertaker, but that's because his character was an undead fucking mortician. But every move in wrestling has been dumbed down to transitional moves. Take a look at the powerbomb. If you took a powerbomb, are you going to get the fuck back up?
Well, that depends. How tall is the person giving me the powerbomb?
You're getting your ass powerbombed by the fucking Undertaker.
Oh, jeez, I'm not getting back up for a while.
You're not getting powerbombed. You're getting last ride. You're getting a last ride. You're going about 8 feet up and 8 feet down. Your ass ain't getting up.
Yeah, but with people nowadays, they aren't as big or as tall as the Undertaker. The only one
that's another problem.
Yeah, that's
another problem with today's wrestling. Everyone is fucking puny.
Everyone looks like I'm bigger than them. And I wonder,
and then there's even people who run companies. Let's take a look at Tony fucking Khan for a goddamn. I'm so fucking angry. I can't even get my words out for a goddamn example. Have you seen this fucker wear a suit?
Tony
Gunn?
He
looks like a Tony Khan, not Tony Gunn.
Oh, sorry. It was sort of hard to hear.
Khan, the goddamn.
Okay, thanks, Google Chrome. Just close yourself. Tony.
Have you seen this motherfucker wear? So he looks like a goddamn kid wearing his dad's work clothes.
I feel like I spelled it wrong. Tony Khan? C-U-N?
No, C-K-H-A-N.
C-K-H.
No, K, just K. No C, just K.
I give up.
He looks like... I don't know how you describe him, but he looks like a goddamn fucking... He looks like that one nerdy kid in school who had no friends whatsoever, so he had to buy them. That's what he's fucking doing right now at AEW. He's buying friends because his daddy is a billionaire.
Yeah.
Look who he made executive vice president. He made Cody executive vice president. That's a smart move because do you know who Cody Rhodes' dad is?
Dead.
Besides that,
I'm sorry about that. That was.
His dad was Dusty Rhodes.
His dad was Dusty Rhodes. I apologize.
One of the most respected bookers and wrestlers in wrestling.
Definitely.
And his son is the executive vice president of a fucking wrestling company. He's the only one that is. Do you know who else is vice presidents and executives in AEW? The Young Bucks. Those fucking idiots are executives in a wrestling company. So is Omega. So is
Wait,
Mr.
really?
Jazz Hands. Mr. fights a 9-year-old just to get over.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Orange
Kenny Omega fought a
Cassidy?
9-year-old. Oh, do not mention his name to me.
Oh, sorry. You said talking about fighting a 9-year-old, and I was like immediately thinking about a match where Orange Cassidy fought like what I thought was a 9-year-old or something.
No, he was probably fighting Marco Stunt.
Probably.
Fucking goddamn. Modern wrestling is fucked. It's fucked.
Modern wrestling
There's no other way to say it. It's fucked. I know everyone says, oh, it's evolved, it's new, it's different. Half the motherfuckers in modern wrestling, are they going to be able to walk when they're 50?
Well, I mean, technically, modern wrestling has evolved. Evolved to the point where mid-card matches are evolved into career-ending matches, and now they're the main event or something. I don't know. What I'm trying to say is they're technically right, but that doesn't mean that they're right.
Oh, it is, yeah, this evolution of wrestling.
It's like evolving backwards, I guess.
To include flips and dives. Yeah, I'm gonna use a goddamn term done by a big podcast, well known and well respected name in wrestling. I do believe you've heard of Jim Cornette, correct?
Yes.
Would you like to know what he calls modern wrestling?
I would.
He calls it Cirque du Bullshit. Not Cirque du Soleil, Cirque du Bullshit. Because that's exactly what it's like. It's like fucking Cirque du Soleil. With flips and dives and this and that and hops and jumps and skips and hips and jazz hands and everything in fucking between. And Orange Cassidy. And invisible hand grenades and thumbs up arses and all that bullshit.
I mean, a good, like, fun little gimmick Orange Cassidy has, but it's not like a super big or super...
And do you know who said they hated that gimmick? That they found it was shitting on the business. And this is ironic. This is hugely ironic, because he fought him at fucking Fight for the Fallen. Chris Jericho said Orange Cassidy's gimmick was a shit on wrestling, and he still went to try and put him fucking over. Jericho's a hypocrite.
Wait, is Jericho also the vice president of AEW?
No, surprisingly. But guess what? Anytime NXT beats AEW in the ratings, guess what? TV ratings don't matter. It's all about the demographics. But when AEW beat NXT in the ratings, oh, ha 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 ha, we beat you in ratings. Like, you delusional fucking halfwit. WCW, right? They kicked WWE's ass for 83 long weeks. But do you want to know what happened after those 83 weeks?
They got their ass kicked.
WCW plummeted. They plummeted so hard that they got their asses kicked from TNT. They got their asses shut down and bought by WWE. And it took until 2018, 2019 just for them to fucking make a reappearance under the name AEW. Because guess what? It's full of ex-WWE guys. Their world champion is an ex-WWE guy. One of the managers is an ex-ECW and WWE guy. And his name is Taz. Have you heard about this? Taz is the manager of Brian Cage. And would you like to know what Taz gave Brian Cage at Fyter Fest?
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
He brought back the FTW World Championship from the fucking 90s.
I'm sorry, there's just a spider in my room. What were we originally talking about? Wasn't it about flipping shit?
Modern wrestling in general, it's been ruined. Take a look at the Orton and Edge match. They call it the greatest wrestling match ever. Right?
Well, was it the greatest wrestling match ever?
It was a good old school wrestling match that Edge and Orton know to do because they were in the business back when there was no flippy shit 24/7. Randy Orton's dad and granddad were back in the old days of kicking ass and taking names and not doing. And if you did flippy shit back then, your ass was blacklisted from wrestling.
But to I thought it was like being under 6 foot or something.
No, but to sum up my rant, modern wrestling is fucked because of the likes of the Young Bucks, because of the likes of Kenny Omega, because of the comedy ghosts like Joey Ryan, Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, and all them fuckwits. It has been ruined by cinematic matches thanks to Matt Hardy, the also overlooked Hardy brother that he had to do something out of the ordinary to make himself fucking feel better and get over because he could never get over on his fucking own.
I mean,
his brother was always better than him, and everyone knows it.
It was essentially just sort of like a one-hit wonder that Hardy did. It was like so good. Everyone tried to copy it. Everyone tried to do the same thing, but in essence, it just like bogged down the business. I guess is what you're trying to say.
Yes, and it is. I want to go back to the days where you could have proper injury angles. Like if someone was given a pile driver outside onto concrete, you don't see them for months. And when they come back, they're welcomed back as a hero.
Wait.
Now...
pile drivers. How many people do pile drivers nowadays? Like regular shoot pile drivers? None.
Well, unless you want to call it the Canadian Destroyer a proper pile driver, but it's not. It's pile driver with theatrics.
Well, aren't there like a bunch of pile drivers with theatrics, essentially? A bunch of DDTs with theatrics.
Not a good old-fashioned pile driver. Go back to the 80s and see... Hell, go back to when Terry Funk gave a pile driver to Ric Flair through a table. Ric Flair didn't get up and start doing backflips, did he? No! When Ric Flair got put through a table, he fucking stayed down.
It's ratios, I think. Ratios of flippy shit and just plain old fist fighting action. You want to do that one big flippy shit type spot, doing like a super duper flippy Rooney into, I don't know, the apron or something. Everyone's hurt, and then you cut to commercial. And then, I don't know,
that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah. But my biggest problem is the whole super kick thing. Remember when Shawn Michaels super kicked Marty Jannetty into basically breakaway glass?
Yes. The end of the Rockers.
The Rockers. What was it, Marty Jannetty?
Yes, it was. Hell, go back to, I do believe it was the Royal Rumble before WrestleMania 20. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, last man standing. Both men bloodied and beaten. The ring canvas stained in their blood, sweat, and tears from that match.
Well, I'm just saying that the biggest problem with modern wrestling is the overuse of super kicks. Like it's like, oh man, a super kick, but they just like it doesn't end a match.
No,
it never seems like it ends a match.
Like hell, go back to the Royal Rumble 2004 match between Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Shawn Michaels, boom, last ditch effort, kicked the head off of Triple H, and guess what happened? Did Triple H return a super kick? No. Both men collapsed. Shawn Michaels beaten down, one last shot in the gun, kicks the head off Triple H. Both men collapse. No man gets up from the count of 10. That's what a super kick should do. You're getting kicked square in the jaw. Your ass is out.
And with that, I think we've reached, 55 minutes. We got, another 5 minutes. I've said all that I wanted to say about flippy shits and mostly super kicks. Super kicks is my biggest problem with the current way the business is.
Everything is currently wrong with the modern wrestling business.
Everything is.
There's only those few old school people that are left, and they're slowly dying off because no wrestling fans appreciate them anymore.
I feel like it's all about the ratio of what you should do and what you shouldn't overdo. I guess. Sure, Orange Cassidy could be fine as a lower card, but I wouldn't call him main event material. He's more like the Santino of wrestling nowadays. But I don't see that as a problem. But I just don't see him as big. He can be over, but he can't be above mid card. I guess is what I'm trying to say. People like that. And then there's flippy shit, which is just putting your life on the line for what is essentially a fictional sport for no reason other than to show off. It's only good for a storyline, I guess. I just want flippy shit to mean something. Not to be done. I want super kicks to mean something, but now they're doing it in every match, everything. Well, not every match. I'm just exaggerating, but you see it more and more often on each and every show. That you sort of realize that it's not that special if people under 6 foot are doing super kicks to people. Meanwhile, I'm taller than Kenny Omega, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I have to say about that. Definitely all I have to say about that. And with that, this is probably where we have to end things here. It's almost an hour. I don't have anything to say. Do you have anything to say?
I've got all I need to say, because if we don't end this any sooner, we'll be here for another 5 hours.
Yeah, we'll probably be here for another 5 hours just talking about the same shit, talking about super kicks, flippy shit. Where in the world does what's his face, Orange Cassidy, belong in wrestling? I say he's fine in the lower card, like a Santino. Rice can think what he ever wants to think, just to show that we have different opinions on things, and we aren't just yelling back and forth the same things. This is some kind of echo chamber. I think.
John, know what Orange Cassidy needs to do?
What?
He needs to sloth walk his way off a cliff.
Yeah. I wouldn't go that far. Unless if it's some sort of clown gimmick, in which case it's something to laugh at and eat popcorn. Again,
there's a gimmick chant for Orange Cassidy. Orange the Clown! Because that's what he fucking deserves.
Imagine if he does a Foley gimmick with that.
Oh dear God! If he drags any resemblance of Mick Foley through the mud, I'll just fucking shoot myself.
Okay, one last time. Let's say that this is the end of the stream. It's been 59 minutes, approaching that hour mark, but we don't get advertisements. And in fact, we're not getting any fucking advertisements off of a stream where two guys swear about wrestling. And if the wrestling community finds out about this stream, this podcast, they won't ever talk about us, because one of the guys talks about how he hates modern day wrestling, and the other guy is just a yes man to the whole situation, coming up with his own ideas of why wrestling nowadays just doesn't seem that interesting. Well, I guess I just want to have fun. And I like a good laugh and everything. And that's all I have to say. about the world of modern day wrestling. And that has been the official horse racing podcast, or the official Heat Wrestling Predictions Intercontinental.
We'll iron out those facts later.
The official horse racing podcast. We don't have any fucking idea who we are. I've been your host, as always, Mr. John F. McDougall's Ryan Hero, Supreme Lord of the Underworld, the Trudgemank, a bunch of other names, a million names. I'm just going to say, I'm the man with a million names. Joining me, as always, is Rice, and we'll see ya after, I don't know, Monday?
Monday, Tuesday, whenever we got the crew.
Okay. See ya.